Let's begin by defining some checkpoints for forward motion. Our model group here is going to start with their feet in first position, and their bodies are in line from their heels through the top of their head. As they initiate their first step, their left knee is going to bend as they peel the left foot off the ground to take that first step.
Right, here's 5, 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1.
Let's slow that down and take another look.
No, 9, 8.
As they articulate their first step, they're landing on the back edge of the heel. And there's a lot of muscle engagement on the front of the leg and the top of their foot as they curl their toes up inside their shoe and try to get those toes as high as possible. Now, because this is a checkpoint exercise and we're not moving fluidly, they haven't transferred any weight yet, so their upper bodies are still aligned with the back leg.
Roll down in 4, 1, 2, ready and move. Roll 2, 3, and 4.
Watch again as they engage the muscles in their lower body to really make this motion as smooth and even as possible. At this point, they've pushed off and rolled up with the entire surface area of the back foot, so that at the end of the motion, the back foot is pointed and perpendicular to the ground. They really engage their lower body to make that transfer of weight as smooth as possible, and now the upper body is aligned with the front leg.
From here, 4 plus 1, halfway's on 3. 1, 2, ready and move. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1.
Let's go back and take a closer look. Let's take a moment to define the quality of the passing foot at the moment that the ankles cross. In this freeze frame, Brandon is the best example of the correct pass position. His foot is in a neutral position. That's halfway between pointed, where he ended the roll-up, and flexed, where he's going to articulate his next step. If we take Brandon as the best model in this frame, you can see that Justin's foot would be just a little bit too pointed, and Aaron's foot is just a little bit too flexed. And as they follow through, you see we land right back where we started. We're on the back edge of the heel, they're engaging the muscles in the front of the leg and the top of the foot to get the toes as high as possible, and their upper bodies are in line with the back leg. Now let's take a step back and see how these checkpoints work together when we're moving in a fluid, continuous motion.
5, and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, let's take a closer look.
7, 8. Here's 1, 2, 3.
With every step these guys take, they're landing on the back edge of their heel by engaging the front of the leg, flexing the foot, and curling the toes up inside the shoe. And now that we're moving fluidly, you can see that as the heel articulates, they've already started to push off and roll up with the back foot.
4, 5.
You can see here that the group really follows through with the entire surface area of their back foot as they roll up and push off, so that at the conclusion of every step, the foot ends pointed and perpendicular to the ground. If we freeze frame here, you can see that Aaron is the best example of a correct pass-through position. His foot's in that neutral position, halfway between pointed, where he ended the roll-up, and flexed, where he's going to articulate his next step. Now let's take a look at correct forward motion as we go into a halt. The primary thing to remember here is that nothing should change about how we approach the technique just because we're reaching the end of the
5,
phrase.
and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and close.
Now let's get a closer look.
7, 8. Here's 1, 2, 3.
You can see here that the last articulation is exactly the same as the rest of the phrase. We're landing on the back edge of the heel so that we can roll through into the halt. And here you see that even into the last step, we follow through with the entire surface area of the shoe so that the foot rolls up to pointed and perpendicular before you close your feet. You can also see here that that right foot is starting to turn out to first position as it rolls down onto the ground. As they follow through into the halt, that left foot is just going to take the shortest path into first position. Now let's step back and see how all of these elements combine to form a forward technique that is fluid and consistent from beginning to end. This phrase is going to play 3 times, so use those opportunities to check out how they approach the beginning of the phrase, the technique through the middle of the phrase, and how they maintain it into the halt at the end.
5 and 6 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and close. 5 and 6 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and close. 5 and 6 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and close.